Okay, so Germany made an interesting play here. This is the 1v1 game, by the way, versus El Capo. We are in UK2. As you said from the get-go, we have our bomber targeting these two transports and destroyer, even though we know we're going to losing the bomber in the counterattack. One, it's important to note that the counterattack will probably use some of the air because, well, yeah, that's not that big a deal. I'm hoping and intending that I take these guys out. That means I take out his destroyer, and he has no other destroyers on the board. So then we got a U.S. sub here, and we can bring our two U.K. subs up into 61, or even 48, where they can threaten both 62 and 60. So that's our next play, is having three subs targeting his drop zone for dropping more transports. Hopefully to make him have to keep fleet back, because he does have a pretty good threat with a transport. He's got these two fighters, this fighter, and this fighter. So 4 fighters, bomber, and 2 battleships for the J3 still, even with only 1 transport surviving. And he's pushed himself forward here. So I really want to try to dwindle this as much as I can with UK units, because I'd rather spend as few US units. I'm probably going to have to use US to clean this up one way or the other, but I'd rather use as few US troops as possible for taking out Germans. I prefer to use UK in the KGF. I prefer to use UK to take out Germans, and then any remainder of the UK and India to hold on for a while, and then eventually get up here in time to help defend with Moscow and let Japan come back through India. So that's my plan here. Remember, he does have his battleship carrier down here. Problem is I do not have great odds on here because I'm taking the bomber, and this is what he knew. This is the great play by Germany, right? Is he knows I plan on using my bomber over here on his goof of dropping it that way. But him shoving everything down here means I don't have that bomber to hit, and so I only got 1 fighter. I've got 3 units plus my transports, gives me 5 units and a fighter versus his 5 units and an AA, which isn't fantastic odds. And we're gonna hit it because the U.S. I really don't want to bring in loads of U.S. down into Africa if we can avoid it. So we're gonna go ahead and hit it. We'll be using these. Oh shoot. I need one of these to be back up to go back to India, though, to defend versus the J3 India. Shenanigans. An extra wrinkle, because I was going to use this one to come in here and block any surviving moves. I guess we're just going to have to see how much lives here, and we may have to use a tank. Pull the tank in here and just clean up that way. Man, shenanigans. Oh, well. Smart move by Germany right here. Smart move by El Capo. Stacking Egypt, knowing that I wouldn't have the... either I have to let his transports live, or I wouldn't be able to attack here. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to use my 2 fighters and a bomber on the battleship on US2 or not. Probably really kind of depends on how this goes. If all he has left living is a tank, I may just do a strike on the tank and just prevent the damage from there. We'll just have to see. So I am going to use this infantry, and if things go bad, then we'll retreat down here and let him funnel up this way where we'll have to deal with them. Which we don't really want that either, but whatever. We got to do whatever we got to do, right? My transport's going to be left naked here. He's going to kill it afterwards. I won't have that transport efficiency anymore after this turn. And that's the downside. If I retreat here, then I can't retreat him back to India for J4. Bit of a pickle here. It was a great little job by Germany. The other option is just try and stack in here, where he would have 2 5 infantry artillery tanks, so 7 plus the bomber and a battleship. But again, I really want to move one of these guys this way, and I want to move all these guys into West Russia. So he did a good job. He did a good job making me think here. But in any case, so what I'm looking at purchase-wise is 4 infantry, 2 artillery. I do want to go ahead and get my second transport up and running here for UK, because the one thing, if I do let this battleship live and he keeps transporting some units down here, that means we got to be aggressive against Germany. And so that's my intention, is to be aggressive against Germany, be fast against Germany. So more transports, more transports, more transports. This transport will live, so that will give us 3. I like to have 3 transports in the UK for the most part. I like the extra to buy fighters and bombers, but maybe I'll end up buying a 4th one just to get as many landings as possible, as quickly as possible, especially if it looks like we're going to lose India as we go along here. Still fighting this head cold myself, and so I may not be making the best moves. I'm going to do it this way, and the reason being is there's a possibility if I can kill his unit with the 1v1, then I don't necessarily need to bring the infantry back in non-combat. I can leave 1 infantry here for trying to clean up whatever Germans may leak into TJ after this battle. We are building a fighter that will land here. I may change my mind and build him down here. It just kind of depends on how everything goes. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 now there. I'd like to have the 5 for the 5 that can attack me, especially since I'm building that second transport. So I prefer to be able to have the 2 fighters there, but I'm not completely against only having 1 there. These 2 battles are pretty critical. Small battles, but critical battles. This battle's critical. The France is important, but it's not as critical as these other battles are. Poor? Why would the bomber versus destroyer be poor? Come on now. Let's see, 5, 6. Man, I just don't really love that Egypt battle, but it's not gonna get better. Even when I move a guy here, 1, 2, 3, 4, he's not gonna get better. I mean, next time I can move the fighter in here, and I'd have the fighter, but then I have to pull these guys out because I can't really stack there. We're just gonna roll the dice. Roll the dice. All right, sorry. All right, here we go. Here's where we need some good dice, good dice, good dice. It's a 50-50, 45-55 his side, I guess, or something. 1.8 IPC value his way. That's the big thankful. 1, 3 hits. All right. No more than 2. No more than 2. All right. Oh, wow. Man. I love it, but gosh, El Capo has had horrible dice. a couple places now. I mean, I'm going to do an update on the team game. They had some good dice on team, but you know, he lost his fighter on the AA, and alright, got the hit. Good deal. With that huge success, which I wasn't expecting, I'll go ahead and bring my infantry back anyways. I was willing to give him a 50-50 shot on India, and I wouldn't need to bring that infantry back at all, but no reason to give it to him now. I was thinking I could need to move him forward. Man, that was a devastating round for him. I almost feel a little bit guilty. I feel guilty about Egypt. There ain't no two cents about it. I feel guilty about that. It shouldn't have been that. I was fully planning on getting my tank to block his tank and clean up that way. I was not expecting this. Can he attack if I leave him here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he could do. I mean, why would he want to do a bomber versus a fighter, though, right? J. Here's this bomber. Could go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't land a transport there. I'd rather have him up here. Submerge, good deal. Now this does not create a, as far as I know, this does not create a bug. This just means he cannot attack my subs and do a non-combat move with his transport, but since he doesn't have a destroyer, I mean, he can't really attack anyways. He just needs to make sure he marks disengage on there. So no sub bugs to worry about there. You go into there, you come into there. I suppose, you know what? It's no different if I move to here, right? I mean, this is no significant advantage other than I can't reach. Well, I mean, I could hit 63 to 60. I could still hit 62. You can't block me. That's the main thing. Is I want to be able to go there. That way, there shouldn't be a sub bug, but it's only what I mean. It doesn't. I don't see any strategic advantage being a 61 versus 48, and I just don't want him to accidentally forget to hit the disengage and screw things up. And I don't know that there's any advantage. If anything, 48 might have a slight advantage that I could get to 46 if he decided to retreat back this way. Which again, he doesn't really have any threats. So he doesn't have to worry about that. So I just don't see any significant advantage. They both connect to 36, and I can get to 62, and I can still get to 63 from here unless he has to build a destroyer to block me to do that. But I don't know why he'd want to do that anyway. So yeah, we're good with the subs there. No reason to be a pain in the butt more than we need to be. All right, real quick, I'm just going to show you the update on this is a mid-round one, so on the team game. So the developments that happened were bang bang. So he went ahead and used his Japan fleet to hit 46, and which surprised me. I in a KJF, I'm not really with Japan. I don't really look to take 50-50 or even 60-40 battles. But he sent 4 fighters, 2 bombers to attack there. At the end of it all, I lost a destroyer, 2 carriers, 2 fighters. What's that? 56. He lost 4 fighters, 2 bombers. So that's what 64. So he lost more, but more importantly, he lost a lot of his attack force. So that gave us an opportunity. He moved the rest of his fleet into 6. He said it gave us an opportunity to attack his fleet, and we had over 70% chance of winning and surviving the battle. And then all we really needed was for only 1 battleship to live, because if 1 battleship lived, then my battleship 2 subs were going to be able to cover him just fine without any issues. But instead, they got 2 battleships lived. We got bad dice. They got good dice. Because we were going to move these subs into 58, where then we'd be dead zoning both sea zones, and then use the battleship 2 subs to come cover the transports taking the Philippines. And so then that would significantly slow him up. But now, so we don't have any U.S. transports. We don't have, he kills these transports, and battleship 2 subs versus 2 battleships, he has advantage there. So all of this is to say that it came out to be a pain in the rear for us to at this point. So this is going to hurt pretty significantly. So we really need to hold on for a while up here. This is definitely a painful result here. I mean, we will gain control, but now he could build a destroyer and drop in 62, and these guys can't hurt it. But they can kill whatever he sends down here. So unfortunate results. I'm going to do what I can. I think I'm going to land my bomber over here. Since he's got subs there, he'd have to use a battleship to go here. If I put my 2 battleships and my battleship 2 subs here, he wants both his battleships to go there, or he's going to let my transports live, which would be hallelujah for us. So my bomber should be free, so I could get on Sea Zone 62. I may look at building another carrier here, and then 2 fighters, so I'll have 2 fighters and a bomber, and then I was thinking about maybe even making my subs be here, but then have them submerged, so I'd have 2 subs to counter kill, so I'd have 2 subs, 2 fighters, and a bomber. I haven't looked to see what he can build there yet. Probably something pretty, 45, yikes. So that's what, like, defensively, that'd be like 5 destroyers. So actually 2 subs, 2 fighters, and a bomber wouldn't be bad against it. And then let the U.S. continue to clean up. But then that would mean he'd use his 2 battleships, and his 2 battleships would live here. We'd kill there, but we'd lose our transports. I don't know. I'll have to talk with my teammates on how we want to do that when it comes to UK's turn. For now, we are doing a pretty decent job up against Germany, at least. So we're holding this against G5, which is always a positive. So we're buying an extra turn there, which is nice, because we're going to need, US 5, US 6, US 7, 8 is the earliest that we're getting these guys. So I may even look at, trying to take Borneo with the UK, which I do not like doing, but we need to start capping Japan income. I don't know. This got a lot trickier. We're feeling pretty good, and that has made it a bit more tricky. All right, here we go.